The NDC and NPP have largely ruled Ghana for the last 25 years. And in that 25 plus years and over, we've had an educational system that is dysfunctionally out of sync with the growing needs of our society and industry. We have an educational philosophy that does not push our students to be more explorative or to sort of chase after practical discovery or encourage it. We have infrastructure in education that does not allow our students to connect with the rest of the world. We have a syllabus system that is dead and that is out of sync with what society and industry actually require from those students. In that same time, we have our leaders still thinking about development as purely brick and mortar, when in fact development has evolved into countries and corporations thinking about how to use brain and science and technology to position themselves into the future, to find solutions to tomorrow's problems before anybody else even begins to think about those problems. That is the new scope of development. And we don't seem ourselves there yet. Now, in that time, our national budget has eternally been in deficit. We have globally economies that are evolving from nowhere, out of thin air. We have economies that can be created out of virtual environments, and yet still we have economists in our country that still believe that our economic sovereignty is going to come from exporting raw gold, raw cocoa, raw oil, and raw bauxite, and everything, you name it. And it bothers me. It bothers me because we seem to have done this for 60 years, and nobody seems to be asking the question, should we still continue to do this in the way we have? Somebody does need to ask that question. Okay? We have our health system that doesn't value lives anymore. It's almost as if you don't have money to pay for your health, you die. If you're poor, then you don't have a chance of having life, pretty much. We cannot keep pretending everything is okay. And that is what bothers me. We cannot keep pretending everything is okay. See, we have a police department, a police system that cannot justify its own discipline. It cannot even discipline or provide discipline in society because it cannot even guarantee its own discipline or the discipline of its corrupt pockets. We have threats arising every day, threats evolving every day to our national sovereignty. And I don't even think our police force understand what those threats are, let alone sort of determine how they can overcome or counter those threats. And that bothers me. And it should bother us all. We have a political system that, instead of being the help for our various citizens, has become a politics of friends and family. So if you're not in the family, if you're not in the group of friends, you don't enjoy the benefits of what politics has to deliver. In fact, I dare us to line up all our ministers and ask every single one of them, what do they think are the evolving needs of our citizens 15 years from now, and what they are expecting or are currently doing to make sure that they satisfy those evolving needs when we get to 15 years from today. We do need to ask these questions because they bother me. They do bother me. The corruption we cry about under one government simply shows up again under another government as though it was a chameleon. It just shows up under another government with a different color and a different name. At best, nothing gets done. That is at best. Okay, at best, nothing gets done. It is as though when we talk about our various political parties, especially the big ones, the focus is on actually outdoing and undoing each other. As for the little or smaller political parties, the less said about them, the better, because the truth is they are more focused on trying to haggle and toggle about who their founding fathers are. Some of them are better more placed with how to stab each other in the back in order to gain leadership within their parties. And at best, they're happy to jump in bed with the biggest political parties of our country. And it bothers me. It should bother you too. See, I feel very sorry for our youth. I feel very sorry for our youth because they are full of energy. They are aware of what their capabilities are. They're trying to do more than the generations before us did. They have the urge to move forward. Unfortunately, they've hit brick walls, 3 brick walls, I would say. The first brick wall is that there aren't enough jobs, or there aren't the kind of education that they require to position themselves in global jobs. That's one. The second brick they face is that there isn't a systematic sort of approach to sort of enlarge or explore their entrepreneurial energy. And lastly, they've been literally removed or cut off out of the technological economy which we're seeing today. So I feel very sorry for our youth. And I think we should all feel sorry for our youth, much more themselves than us. If you ask me, we have come to a point where I feel that our political dispensation, current political dispensation, has outlived its purpose. Now, I know a lot of people will feel angered by this, but the truth is that the NDC is dead. It died by virtue of its own greed and an entitlement agenda. I think the NPP is bedridden by its own elitist propaganda or elitist bigotry, if you ask me. As for the little or smaller parties, I think they've been stillborn, if you ask me, by their visionlessness. So we need a new political order. We need a mental revolution in our politics. We need new men and women who understand how the world really works. We need men who understand that Ghana needs to form the right alliances. We need people who understand that we need to involve technology in everything we do so we can bridge the gap that has been caused by many years of our mediocrity. We need men and women who understand that we need systems, institutions, and laws that evolve with the complexities of the world we're facing and with the evolution of our own people and their demands and their needs as they grow. We need men and women whose understanding can grasp the fact that the world is moving in a certain direction and we need to move along with it. Okay, we need men and women who can separate the politics of winning power from the actual business of running a country. Those are the kind of people we need in our current dispensation. If you ask me, we need a total new order of politicians. A revolution, somewhat. A political revolution. I think that's what we need. A new political order. A new revolution. a revolution of our minds, a revolution of the way we do politics. I think the revolution needs to start now. So let the revolution begin.